Hello folks and welcome back to Metal Gear Solid 2. So in the last video we met up with bomb disposal expert Peter Stillman, and basically we have been tasked with taking out all of the bombs that are planted throughout the big shell. So in this video we are basically going to go ahead and do that. We're going to head all over, is it called Shell 1? Yeah, basically going to head all around Shell 1 and disarm these bombs. So as we saw in the last cutscene, they're gonna... Well, I forgot that guard was down there. He probably would have seen me if it went for the radar. Yeah, so as you saw in the last video, we're gonna have to go around and find these gas clouds and disarm all of the bombs. Now, this is actually a pretty useful time as you're going round to get all of the nodes, because you will be going back to all of these areas and things.
Right in here. I took care of the C4 in
and it's basically just a good idea to get your radar online as soon as you can.
Set to blow.
Oh, we're in the ladies, we didn't even knock.
That's not like him.
Anything wrong?
Maybe. Pliskin's reported other locations too, and none of them are effective demolition points.
What do you mean?
It means that they wouldn't be the best places to choose if you wanted to destroy this place.
Are you saying they don't plan on blowing the shell up?
It certainly seems that way. So far we haven't seen anything but a waste of good explosives. Unless, of course, we're missing something.
A trap?
He couldn't have overlooked the fact that I would be called into this. There's something going on.
How very, very suspicious. Oh well. So let's just head out back through here. And this section of the game is pretty interesting actually, because it really sort of brings you to all the different areas of the shell. And it's a very different layout to Metal Gear Solid 1, because in MGS1, roughly speaking, I mean there was a little bit of backtracking in it, but roughly speaking you made your way through the fairly linear area. So going from, say you start at the helipad and then you pretty much made your way to the maintenance base. Now I'll just use a chaff grenade to avoid that camera. You can sneak under it, but I'll just make things a little easier for myself. A surveillance camera? So yeah, whereas in MGS1 you followed quite a linear path with a clear sort of goal of the underground maintenance base, in this one it's a little bit different. You're going to be taking, you're going to be sort of visiting these areas more than once, and also each time you go back you're going to be doing different things, and you'll see what we mean as we go on. Oh, very nearly got myself spotted by him then. But luckily Raiden is nice and acrobatic, and it's pretty easy at this point to throw yourself in the water by accident. I've done that many times when trying to drop down there, as we did, because basically what you have to do is when you drop down you have to start basically bashing triangle. You can just get it in time, you know, time it so just as you're going past, if you press triangle he grabs on, but I have thrown myself in the water and died many times. And that guard's actually a pain, because as you see he's calling in his position. So what I've done now is, because I shot him just after he called in the status update, that gives me the most time possible to get going, until obviously the commander's like, why the hell aren't you answering, da da da. And we can leave this area anyway because we've got the bomb. Now, I don't know, I remember this bit. So basically this is an interesting area, because in these two sections you can actually both approach and leave both areas either from a sort of upper or lower level. And if you look now on the radar, you can see like a really big cone of vision. So basically what that is there's a guard on the roof with some binoculars, and he is going to basically spot you if you go up top. Now, where the devil is he? I think at this point I should be just out of his view, but if you say come from just over there where I'm pointing with the gun now, the guard will spot you pretty easily, which is not good. Right, the parcel room. This is another fairly tricky area. with, I believe, a guard that has, yes, a radio. So according to him there's nothing here, but there is. Sneaky, sneaky, oh, bollocks. As he now knows. Where's he gone, where's he gone, where's he gone? Whoopah! Got his radio. Crap. There's no friends to spiders. Nope! I think not, sir. I think not. Okay. Oh crap, there's that clearing team. This could have gone so much better for me. How did they not find him? What idiots! Okay, but they're going to carry out another investigation. God damn it. Did I even pick up the cardboard box to hide in? No. So this has gone a little bit wrong. So he just spotted me? No, it's him just waking up, that's what that was. Well folks, this could have gone a little smoother. That much is certain. I'm going to take this guy out and make a dash for the stairs, because the bomb in this one is on the roof. And I was going on about how this bit can be a bit tricky, but not actually thinking to do anything about it, which was pretty daft of me, really. So don't do what I did, don't get yourself spotted, just head on up to the roof. It's cutscene time.
I've taken care of that annoying fly. What's the situation over there?
Puzzling. I saw a man dressed like a ninja
That voice sounds familiar.
Ninja?
It's the only way to describe it. A kind of cyborg ninja complete with a
Cyborg ninja, that sounds familiar as well.
Are you hiding something from me?
Olga, are you sure it wasn't an Arsenal Tengu?
Olga.
Don't be a
I
fool.
see.
Think I wouldn't know the difference? I've never seen field gear like that ever.
Alright, we'll intensify patrols. Anything else?
Actually, one more thing. You'll find it hard to believe, though. I saw a man hiding under a cardboard box.
Where?
Now,
On the
who do we know
connecting
that
bridge
does
to Shell
that?
2. So you believe me this time?
I've seen someone use that box trick before. We'll lay a trap on the Shell 2 connecting bridge.
Over and out, then.
Freeze!
And just like Snake, Raiden
You
gets
must
the
be
drop
one
on
of Dead
Olga.
Cell.
Of course not. What a thing to say.
Drop your gun!
Not a chance.
But unlike Snake, he doesn't take quite as good control of her. And we pretty much let her get away. And you'll notice Raiden as a character is far more dependent on the other people that he meets. So for example, he's immediately phoned Pliskin, whereas Snake was just badass and took down
How do you know?
Olga the
Unlike
first
you,
time.
I've been briefed.
She's not a Dead Cell?
No, she commands a Russian private army.
They must be the ones patrolling the big shell.
That's right. She's led the group ever since her old man, Colonel Gerlukovich, died. Watch yourself with her. She's a tough one.
And I wonder how Pliskin knows that. Suppose he must have been well briefed. Anyway, we've made this a little bit harder for ourselves up here on the roof because I didn't get the node. It was pretty much under heavy guard once I'd got myself spotted and the reinforcements arrived. But I've played this game enough times to know that the bomb is under the Harrier, as you can see. There we go. Oh, don't want to shoot it. If you do shoot the bombs with the Socom pistol, it's obviously not a good thing either, and basically everything blows up. So don't do that.
Right here.
I've definitely done that a few times by mistake instead of using the coolant spray.
Explosives were planted on the Harrier 2 stationed on the roof.
This is all wrong. This is something only an amateur would do.
What do you mean?
All the bombs that have been found so far don't appear to be in the right kind of locations. And the quantity of explosives isn't sufficient either.
Even
Weird.
Batman can make mistakes, right?
No, there's something else going on here. Get a move on with the disposal, Raiden. I've got a bad feeling about this.
Do you think it's a trap?
I don't know, but I'm gonna tell Pliskin to watch his back too. Just hurry.
Right, let's get a wriggle on. Oh, hello.
Freeze!
And Raiden says freeze in just the most feminine way. That always really annoyed me about this. He's like, freeze. Even that was probably too manly a rendition for him. He's like, freeze. Put your hands up. But Raiden gets an awful lot of hate. I mean, I'm sure anyone who's read about Metal Gear Solid or played the games or been involved in the MGS community knows how much hate Raiden gets. And without wishing to spoil anything for those of you who know nothing about Metal Gear, he does get a lot cooler, I think, in the later games. But it was just a very controversial decision to put him in the game because obviously Snake was, well, he seems to have drowned at the start of the, at the end of the tanker episode, sorry, so we're pretty much playing as Raiden. Oh, bollocks, how do they know that? Anyway. So, yeah, Raiden is pretty much, for all intents and purposes, the main character for the rest of the game, and that got a lot of hate at the time. I mean, people were really not happy to not be playing as Snake, even though you play as him at the start. But I don't mind him too much. I mean, yeah, he's not Solid Snake, but he's still pretty cool. He's a bit of a badass. And we'll just sneak on by before the patrol intensifies. Yeah, Raiden can be a bit of a badass. He does some pretty cool things in the game, as you'll see, so I think he gets a bit of a tough rap. Who's this? I don't recognise that frequency.
Be careful, there are Claymore mines around there.
Who is this?
Stealth-equipped Claymore mines, invisible to the naked eye. Use the mine detector.
Identify yourself.
Just call me Deep Throat.
Ugh.
Deep Throat. You mean from Shadow Moses?
Mr. X, then.
Mr. X now, is it? Why would it matter
He's the
if I
bad
call
guy
you
from Streets of Rage. Wouldn't trust him, Raiden.
Why did you contact me?
Let's just say I'm one of your fans.
Colonel, someone calling himself Mr. X just contacted me. Do you know anything about it?
No. And whoever it wasn't a burst transmission. The transmission was sent from within the big shell.
He called
The
himself
call is
Deep
coming
Throat
from
at
within
first.
inside the
What do you
house.
think?
I caught that part too. But the possibility of it being true is none. Gray Fox was the one who used that alias in Shadow Moses, and he's dead.
Is it
Or
an enemy
is
trap?
he?
Could be. Exercise extreme caution.
Well, Campbell's right about us needing to exercise extreme caution, and that is chiefly because of all the bombs that are planted here. However, there is also a guy up there with some binoculars, and believe you me, he has caught me out a number of times. So basically, make sure to get him, because otherwise you find yourself approximately here in the middle of a field of claymores, and you'll have machine gun ciphers, so they're like basically those flying cameras that we saw before, with machine guns attached to them. And that is pretty much a lose-lose situation because you're being shot at, and also if you run, you're going to step on a landmine more likely than not. So now that we're in the warehouse, let's get a move on. And the bomb in here is actually pretty easy to reach. Shit.
There's somebody there.
Unless you get yourself spotted. Where was he? Is he going to come out to there, I wonder? Yes, he is. Ah, balls. Missed him. And I'm sure with the quantities of tranquilizer that I pump into some of these guards, one of them would eventually be killed by it. But, for now, we've not killed anyone. I think. Have we? Can't actually remember. At least in this room we haven't, so they can be thankful for that. Now, there should be a guard down here. Yes. Well, take him out. Oh. Ho, ho, ho. That was some good timing. He had literally just spotted us as he sort of as we shot the tranquilizer at him. Now what's this? A mine detector. Very, very useful. And also on the other side of those boxes you can see the SOCOM suppressor. So what we need to do is I'll grab the node, activate that, and now you can see it quite clearly once you've got the radar. Just down here there is a ventilation shaft which we can pop on through to get the SOCOM suppressor. Very useful bit of kit, really. And the guards really don't look very hard for the missing man, do they? Brilliant. Suppressor and some bullets. So if we use that and then equip the SOCOM, we now have a virtually silent weapon. Very, very useful because obviously this means we can now take people out with lethal force and not alert anyone else nearby. Very, very useful bit of kit. Now, if I open the map... Oh, first of all I'm going to be mithered by Rose.
Jack, do you remember the day we met?
Not
kind of
really the
right
time
now,
for that, Rose.
You're right, sorry.
She's not really got her priorities sorted out, has she?
I transferred to New York. There are all these tourists around you in front of the Federal Hall.
A group of middle-aged Japanese ladies came up and asked me which building it was that King Kong was climbing in the movie. I said it was probably the Chrysler Building, and then you showed up and started mouthing off. You were like, no, it's the Empire State.
I said the Chrysler Building was in Godzilla.
We started arguing, and I forgot all about the tourists.
Bit rude.
I was insisting that I was right.
These
and you
poor
were doing the
Japanese
same.
ladies just wanted to
The
know
next thing we
where the
knew,
building was, and
Japanese
she just
women had
ignored
gone
him.
away, and we ended up going to the Skyscraper Museum to see who had the better recall.
We argued all the way to Battery Park.
And for nothing.
Since the museum was closed, we went our separate ways from the museum.
Raiden couldn't
And
seal the
then I found
deal.
you again by coincidence out in the base corridor.
An amazing coincidence that we were actually working at the same place.
That night we went up to the top of the Empire State.
It was so beautiful. I could look down on the Chrysler Building from 120 stories above ground.
I felt overwhelmed. I didn't care anymore who was right.
And that was our first
Raiden,
date.
the
We
terrorists.
watched King Kong in your apartment a bunch of times that night.
That's a euphemism.
Didn't sleep till morning.
Dirty
If it weren't
bastard.
for that coincidence, we wouldn't be together.
I know. I'm sorry, Jack. I'm taking up your time again.
What?
Take care.
Right, well, now that the Titanic duo have finished their little rom-com moment, we'll get cracking and disarm some bombs, shall we? Oh, and we should also probably rescue the President of the United States of America. God, Raiden, get your priorities together. And if I could make that shot, that would be great, because this thing's going to see me, actually. So basically, if you shoot the top of the camera, they get destroyed straight away. But if you faff about like I did, you can just shoot the base of it a few times, and that does help. That's an especially useful time as well to have the silent SOCOM pistol, because if you didn't want to take out that guard with the M9, or if you didn't have any bullets, you can still get rid of the Cypher pretty easily without being spotted or giving away your position. Now I said I was going to open up my map, didn't I? Yeah, so we've only actually got 2 bombs left, so we're making some pretty good progress here. And as we head back into the pump room, it now finally becomes apparent why this was called the pump room, because until now we've basically just been in like the little computer area, but as you can see, this is kind of like the, I don't know what it's really meant to be, like the power, or maybe even, if you remember, the big shell is being put up over the site of an oil spillage, so maybe this is actually where the main sort of machines that are pumping the oil, I don't know how oil cleanup facilities work. Maybe this is part of that, who knows, but either way, there's a bomb in it, and we've got to dispose of it.
This is Raiden. The C4 found in strut A has been frozen and disposed of. Explosives were planted in the pump room on the first floor.
Good work. Only one more left to go.
This is Pliskin. Do you read me, Pete?
I'm here. What's up?
Ryden, you need to hear this too.
I'm listening.
I checked out the bottom of strut H for you, Pete.
Wait, what's this about?
I asked Pliskin to look around. Knowing Fat Man, I can't shake the feeling that all the bombs so far were just wrong.
To be fair, a bomb in the power room would be pretty
a hell of
bad.
A lot of C4s packed into the bottom of the strut. Pete called it right.
I knew he had the real thing up his sleeve.
So all the other ones were dummies?
No, they're a threat, all right. But the
Or maybe we
detonation
were
wouldn't
the
be
dummies
enough
for
to
falling
destroy the
for
entire
it.
shell. But the C4s Pliskin found would inflict serious structural damage.
That's not the bad news either. These are sensor-proof.
What?
New model, I guess. The ionization sensor can't detect them. The whole thing is sealed tight to prevent vapor leak, and there's no trace of that cologne signature. Pete, looks like he fooled you.
Whoops.
Yes.
But you managed to find the thing anyway.
It was sheer luck.
Bombs that are invisible to the sensor?
Any ideas, Pete?
Are there more out there?
I'll go see for myself.
You can't move fast enough.
He's right. I can try the spray from a distance.
Hold on. There's something not right about this one. I can feel it.
Well, Pete, should I come back and get you?
No, there's no need. Ryden, you have one left to go, correct?
Right,
Strut
except
B.
for those scentless ones.
How about you, Pliskin?
I have 2 left, not counting this one.
Okay. It'll have to be me. I have the level 4 card that'll get me into Shell 2 in any case.
You'll never make it. With that bad leg of yours, they'll spot you for sure.
That won't happen.
He's not
I
exactly
can walk
stealthy,
just
is he?
fine. I can even run.
What do you mean?
That bomb 5 years ago, I messed up. Even with all my experience, I lost it. And the church was lost in the explosion. All those kids playing nearby.
Oh,
too.
God.
These past 5 years, I've lived a lie.
Lied?
Yes, lied. I didn't lose my leg in the explosion. So many dead. All because of my mistake. All I could think about was hiding from the crime, shielding myself from the public outcry. I wanted people to be sorry for me, for my weakness. I faked being a victim myself because I couldn't bear to face the families of the real victims. This is no prosthetic. I can keep my footing on catwalks and hike over deserts. I lived my life so well, I haven't even answered to myself for my sins. It was supposed to be a shield, and it's become a shroud instead. I've killed my soul by playing the victim. Instead of protecting me, it's made my life even more hellish.
What good can that do the victims?
I know. I'm a coward.
Hey, Pete.
God forgive me. I can walk with my own 2 feet, and I need them to stop Fat Man. His crimes are also mine. One of omission and arrogance. No one should teach the skills I taught him without a clear conscience. This is the only way I can defuse my own sins.
I get you, Pete. That one's all yours. You got it, Ryden?
I understand.
Pete, I've taken care of guards in struts G and H of Shell 2. I wouldn't recommend you go into any of the other struts.
I owe you one.
I'll get back to freezing the baby bombs then.
You do that too, Ryden.
I'm on it.
I'll have the radio with me if you need to get in touch. Just don't ask for Peg Leg Peter. He's gone for good.
As if we'd ask for that. That would be so offensive. Just like, hey, peg leg. How's the peg leg? That would be very politically incorrect. So it's a pretty interesting development actually in Stillman's story, and don't know, it kind of makes you think, because you can see why he would feel such guilt maybe for failing to defuse the bomb, even though I'm sure it wasn't really his fault. I mean, he didn't put the bomb there in the first place. But did he really achieve anything by lying about what happened to his leg? Like, I'm sure, like, no one... I just can't see him having been blamed too much for not being able to defuse the bomb, but I suppose it's one of those things like you would feel absolutely awful, but is lying about it really the way to go? Probably not. Anyway, enough philosophising, let's head across the AB connecting bridge and defuse the final bomb. Now, I'm going to try and show you something at this bit, which I might cock up completely. But basically, in the last... Shit! I cocked it up completely. I think not. Oh, god damn it. My usual cartwheel technique did not work. And how freaking rapid are those guards? They turn up like straight away. Jesus. Yep, so I was going to try and show you something, and that did not work. I will try it again at a later date. But until then, we need to avoid this evasion. Get lost. And you. No! Over nowhere. Anyone in here? Okay. Where are the guards in this area? I know that the node is here, so let's grab that. And then at least in caution mode we've got the radar. And we're also quite near to the bomb, so that's useful. Okay. So if we shut this little door, we reveal the bomb, and we can finally defuse the last one. There we go. Now what Stillman managed to find.
Frozen. There's nothing showing up on the sensor now.
Good work, Raiden.
You're way ahead of me, kid. I still have one to go.
How's your bomb, Peter?
It's a bomb, all right. Sealed C4, and in huge quantities.
You think there's another one in Shell 1?
For sure. Somewhere at the bottom of Strut A.
Why are you so certain?
If this bottom section of the strut is demolished, Shell 2 will be well on its way to destruction.
You mean that Shell 2 will actually sink?
Not immediately. There'll still be 5 struts left. But if Shell 1 loses a strut at the same time, it'll be a very different story. The big shell's structural integrity depends on a very exact balance. If both shells lose a strut each, the whole structure will tear itself apart under its own weight.
What do we do?
I have a sensor that can locate even those scentless C4s. It makes combined use of a neutron scintillator and a hydrogen bomb detector.
You brought that stuff with you?
Of course. I made the calibrations while I was in the pantry.
Does it work?
I just tested it, and it definitely responds. But the best I can do is a sound beacon, not the radar.
Sound?
The shorter the interval between beacons, the closer the...
I love how Raiden says that as though he just doesn't know what sound is.
The pantry I was in. You can go back and get it.
It's all yours, Raiden.
I'm going to study it some more and see if the freezing process will work. Don't touch the other one until I say so.
Okay. I'll stand by until you radio in.
Okay, sounds good. Whoop, didn't mean to slide down. Now if I can make my way out of here without being spotted by any guards. Oh, there's no items in there. I think I must have got them in an earlier video actually. Oh, and there's a guy right there. Take him out. Oh. And this one is another section with sort of 2 levels to it, like upper and lower. And the cipher, I believe, actually goes from below to above. So you'll see now it should start coming up. So basically you've got to time your run and make sure that you're not on the top of the bridge when the cipher is. So here we are back at the Strut C dining hall, and as you can see we've done kind of like a circuit of the big shell. We started here and we went all the way around defusing bombs as we went. So basically we need to go and get that special bomb detector, but this video's gone on for pretty much half an hour now, so we'll do that in the next video. So please do give this video a like and a comment if you enjoyed it and you want to have a quick chat, and obviously subscribe if you want to find out as soon as the next video's up. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it. Really appreciate your support, and I've loved doing these videos for you. So thank you very much for joining me. I've been LazierBandit, and I'll see you in the next video.